I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Well, now that the tariffs are showing up in prices from stuff from Temu, and the dollar store has added a plus tariffs to its sign and is now the $9 store. You know, the weirdest part is that this douchebag said he's the leader of the country, and he also said in an interview he's leader of the world.
I run the country and the world.
The guy is such a twat. How could he piss off every country in the world with one sentence? That's a special kind of stupid. I mean, W had to actually vomit on the Japanese prime minister to get the same reaction.
Memories of the way we were.
This guy's our leader, our boss, our CEO. Think of us as the board of directors, the American public. He works for us. Our last CEO, Biden, ran the company without drama. He saved us from the damage this guy did the first time, and some of our board of directors, or 30% of them, were throwing their own feces and eating boogers. They also decided eggs were too expensive, so they decided to re-elect this douchebag. Now that the stock market has dropped, the prices are up, and farmers have had billions of contracts canceled by other countries because of tariffs this dickhead implemented.
The impact of Trump's tariffs is being felt in the heartland. Farmers who rely on China to purchase their soybeans now concerned.
Cheddar Mussolini says it didn't happen. President Truman said the buck stops here. That was in 1953. And look how far we have come in 70 years. Now we've got a president making millions off a meme coin. And he said the top 25 buyers will have access to the White House. But we don't know which dick is buying the meme coin. Sorry, which dictator is buying the meme coin. We, the American public, are the customers fat bastard is supposed to work for. We pay taxes for their service. We purchased good leadership. There's nothing worse than getting fucked over when you pay for something. When a company just decides, well, we got your money. Now we're going to do what we want.
We're going to have a big, beautiful parade.
A military parade?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're going to celebrate our military. We have the greatest military in the world.
What's the price tag? Do you
know? Peanuts compared to the value.
It's brutal and you feel helpless. Let me tell you a story. I recently bought a truck from Dodge Ram, my fourth one, and I use them for my company, and I always feel like a man driving that thing, you know? Got a Hemi, hell yeah! The three I've owned before this new one were pretty great, so I upgraded. But they killed the Hemi. Moment of silence. So I bought the 2025 Twin Turbo 6 Limited Ram 1500, 540 horsepower. Hell yeah, my tiny manhood feels bigger than it did a minute ago. Top of the line. Pickup trucks cost what a decent Mercedes costs now, because America. So I drove the truck on one trip, and the motor lunched, hydrolock, stranded me on the Richmond Bridge. Actually, I just rolled off to the first exit. Brand new, motor lunched. I had to pay for a tow truck and a flight home. We'll call that Dodge's tariff. It's been at the dealer for 30 days, still not fixed. Ram and Stellantis have been great on the phone, though, but like a hooker telling you how sexy you are. And they've done jack shit about the truck. I've made 2 payments for a truck I can't drive, don't have, and they won't fix. So, like the current Trump administration, Dodge Ram bullshits and does what they want. Trump bullshits and does what he wants. We are the customers. We are the people that pay for this country. You know, we paid for Meals on Wheels for our seniors. We paid for the education department. We paid for Social Security. Yet he thinks he runs the world. He's deporting citizens. He's sending people who are legally here away. He's faking pictures. He's tanking the economy. Prices are up. He lies like no one has ever seen. Makes my ex-wife look like the Pope, who J.D. Vance killed. But according to Bill Maher, while Trump's destroying the country, deporting legal residents and citizens, Maher thinks he's a nice guy.
He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists.
Like all the people at Dodge Ram. And like Dodge Ram, America was sold a shitty product, Trump. Same product they bought before. And this time, like Dodge Ram did to me, America's really getting screwed. And I can't even move to Canada because I don't have my truck to drive anywhere. But at least I can do something and bitch here on the podcast. In America, we don't have a lemon law for president, but we need one. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. That would be great if we could just have somebody just file suit and go, yeah, man, his performance has not been up to par. Nah, he said he was this, and this. Yeah, the world was supposed to be over on day one. Didn't happen. So guess what? We're going to file a lemon law to keep it. And he's out. He's president. God, it's not fair. Are we 100? We 100?
Keep it 100.
Got to keep it 100. We 100. Hello, everybody. Christopher Titus Podcast. With me, as always, the lovely bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
Into the mic, Sicky.
Hi.
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
They're both. So I got one sick as a dog. The other one's been moving this weekend. You know, moving will just suck the life out of you. Moving is like your immune system just. I mean,
it gave up.
It gave up. And hers has given up too. But I always feel like moving is. Like I don't even get mad if friends don't want to help you move. Like if not, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Wait, hold on.
Just remember, I'm not going to be helping you. Yeah, squeak, crack, pop.
We have had a really heinous time doing it together. And paying movers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've done this by yourself, which is insane.
Yeah, it's a nightmare when you got a crew.
Yeah.
The thing is, I told him is that we had a crew, and you guys all know this phenomenon where people, I always pack. I don't ever let people pack because,
and you're very intense about it.
Yeah, because I don't want stuff to break.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. He's like, shing, 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 shing. It's ready to
No,
go.
I am not. No.
Yes, he actually puts a basketball goal in the bed of the
I
truck.
will wrap stuff. Shut up, all you
With
guys.
duct
Invites
tape.
his friends.
Why
There's
is
a
the
lot
guy
of duct
always
tape.
in the relationship? Always the dumb guy.
He's
an
the guy
idiot.
too. He's the one saying it.
I just know I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive gently over there.
No,
That's not going to happen.
But here's the thing. It goes back to customer
it's
service.
not that guys are dumb. It's that you're just dumb. Wait. So
that is a Freudian slip, lady.
the phenomenon.
That is not Freudian.
The phenomenon I was talking about is that. So I've packed. We've hired you. I pack. He hires movers.
I went to the bubble store and bought bubble wrap. So
Movers come. You do supply runs. Movers come. Whole house gets moved.
Yep.
And then they're gone. And in the house is a mountain in every room of the most random shit that you can't get rid of, that you know you're probably going to need. Cords,
extension cords,
bits of caps, tops, remote control.
Keys. What is this key to?
Keys.
Exactly.
Like he's got the most ridiculous set of keys, and I go, "What? What are you?
There are more.
Are you a school janitor on your as another job?"
I don't know, but that's where he was when I talked to him the other day, where you suddenly need boxes to pack another 500 boxes of stuff that you don't want.
When I helped him with the mattress, I went to his house and I walked in and I was like, "Oh, I remember this." I walked into your apartment, and I was like, "Oh no, I remember this."
It was just, what is this lumber here?
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I'm doing dumb things now. Like yesterday, I just cooked something horribly, and then I burned boiled my lip.
Because you're not paying attention.
I'm not paying attention.
You're tired and you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
And you also know I need to get some food in me right now because I'm about to die.
That's it.
And so you're like,
I'm like shaking.
So it's lava, and you're like, just poured lava down your throat.
You've entered pure survival at this point.
Speaking of, let's start at this with customer service, because I do have to say we are the customers of our government, and our government has, our CEO is currently the most inept, unaccomplished, bankrupt rapist we've ever had in office. Back to the movers, though. So here's what bothers me. So we paid movers. It's not cheap to have people move.
Are you gonna do a customer service story about movers?
Well, every time we've hired.
Hold on, you asked me a bad one, and when I moved out here from LA.
Yes.
Tell him what happened.
Oh God. Well, that was us too, wasn't it?
No.
So we hired a crew.
My best friend, comic.
Super funny, great comedian.
Very funny. Came at the same time. He and I were going to do Landmark together, and then he was going to help Titus move stuff in because the movers would move it to the front doorstep or something. And we lived at the top of a hill. Yeah,
they would. Was this Beverly Ridge? No, this was Witzel.
They called from the base of our street, which was like 9/10 of a mile up. We lived.
It's one of those like hills,
and said, "Ner, come get it." And we were
parked at the bottom of the hill.
And that's where you had to come get it?
In a massive moving van, and said, "We're not driving. You can either come get it or we're leaving."
So what was the moving part that they missed?
They
just drove it
from Louisiana.
They just drove a truck.
That's right.
They just drove the truck. And we actually, and then she's got this. She's got this one. I forgot about this. She's got this one piece of furniture. This was it armoire?
Armoire.
Holy God! As Slade said, I stole this for many years. It's made out of oak and gravity. It's the heaviest. Him and I, these 6 foot. We're big. We're decent guys. And we were like, "Well, kill me, kill me." Because if this thing falls on either of us, we're dead.
I remember you were just shocked, just the indignance of you're not gonna bring it to my what?
Like to the driveway? You're not going to the driveway? No. So we had to load up my truck
1,000 times.
1,000 times, and these assholes
did not help.
But here's the problem: is that like when did we get to a place? Because they already had our money. Here's what I've learned.
Yes.
I did something recently too. I paid somebody for a service, for a registration service. For a registration service for my car. That's not what I meant.
Is this?
Paid him for his service and it was not rendered on me. Render this service quickly. No, slower.
Be quiet, the cops are coming.
No money exchange. So what happens is that I paid them up front, and after I did it, 5 minutes after, I went, "Fuck! I should have half when it's done." People half now, half when it's done. Make sure that they have to get it done to your satisfaction.
That applies to both things we were talking about.
Yes, full completion.
I was talking about one thing. I was talking about getting some registration paperwork. I don't know what you're talking about. So
I do remember with the moving guys that the other part was that they said legally they couldn't touch the stuff to get it off the truck to put it in your truck. So you and Slade had to move everything.
We basically
while they sat around and watched.
We basically paid someone to let us move our stuff.
Yes.
So
but wasn't the address, the destination address on the contract?
Yeah.
But they didn't bring
Can't
it to
go
the
up
address.
that hill. Can't go up that hill. Can't go up that hill. No way we're going up that hill. It was crazy. It was annoying. And I was at a point where I had this lovely girl move in with me, and I was in, and it was all there was to do.
Child bride.
All there was to do what you had to do. That's all there was to do. It sucked. So that's what goes down to service. And I think with we didn't have social media to this level at that time. I think, guys, what you need to really do, you need to really dox every company that fucks you over. I'm not fucking around. You need to dox every company that screws you.
And after he's finished, I'll tell you what I think.
What do you think?
I think that you sometimes have to balance the cost of your soul with fighting companies. And certainly I have fought with companies, but I do it in a more lighthearted way. And you definitely leave a piece of yourself.
Yeah, I get that.
And
I do it too.
I just remember Spectrum, because also whenever we move, I'm responsible for switching over all
Spectrum,
utilities.
Jesus.
And I mean, it's weeks.
Bank
Do you
of
remember
America.
AT&T where they moved a pole in front of our house at Hillock and then said they were sorry they had moved the pole. We couldn't have their service anymore. And I'm the one that hired them to come.
Holy shit.
They moved
And
the
our
whole-
doorbell
said that,
never
yeah.
worked again. It was an intercom.
Yeah, that we had this whole system set up in this house, and they moved the pole to get access to something for our house, and then nothing ever
And then
worked
said,
again.
and then said we couldn't have whatever that the high speed stuff was because they had moved.
Because what
Should have just left the pole then.
what
Why?
our guys just did made it so you can't have what you paid for. What?
But when Mike Birbiglia does a great bit about this, I forget what special we saw it at Montreal, but where he was 100% justified and in the right. It was a horrible car accident. It was ruining his life. And the whole point of this really awesome story is that he gave up and he got his life back. And I remember you were like, "This is bullshit. He gave up and he lost everything."
I have actually written Birbiglia many strongly worded letters.
Signed Karen.
Yeah, Karen. This was not correct. So,
but I was going to say we moved to La Rambla, and when we were renting, we hopped a bit, and because Armenians, and
they're really take care of their money.
okay, one of my very best friends, Jasmine, is an Armenian,
and she
will tell you.
Yeah, she backs us up.
Do not rent from an Armenian.
Which we've now done. Well, no, 1, 2.
Well, he was Israeli.
Well, I will say this: the white guy from Witzel was the worst guy.
He
ever.
was horrible
And
too.
he was-
all landlords.
Yeah,
He was
landlords.
horrible. He was having the place taken by the bank out from underneath us and
we were
lying
paying
to
rent
us.
to a dude who wasn't paying his mortgage. So
He was a lawyer.
So one day we show up to the house, customer service. One day we show up to the house and there's these people like, hey, we just came to look at the property. I'm like, we fucking own this property.
That was another one of my legal victories because he tried to charge us $14,000. Remember? And I sat down and pounded out one of my legal letters that I learned from working for lawyers, and he went away. But when we went to La Rambla,
wait, I just want to point out, so these people showed up to look at the house because they were going to buy it from the bank because it was going foreclosure.
And you guys weren't notified of any of this.
No, we were paying the rent on time.
No, do you remember how many things in the mail we were getting from realtors and realtors coming to our front door? We'd be out doing plyometrics.
It's a nice house in the hills.
Are there pictures of people's like realtors' faces in your lawn? You're like,
hey, we'd like to look at the place.
That's another customer service thing. And then he tried to charge us for moving.
Oh my God.
Before our lease was done, and we were like, the house is being
That's
taken.
when I walked away from the deposit. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
We needed to pay to move somewhere else, which is what I told him in that letter.
Yeah.
Then we had an Israeli Jewish guy named Avi who had beard dandruff. I've never seen that before.
I started Elton John. I was the first guy that took the Elton John on the tour.
He did.
He really did.
In 1960, he had four. He would always tell me how many houses
48.
he owned. 48 houses.
Rental.
Weighed like 320. Really would talk you to death.
Not you. You'd make me talk to him. You would never. I didn't
make it. I was like, I just got away from him.
The first time,
at one point, it's save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he liked me, and so I'd have to sit. I remember just like he would never stop talking, and he was such a criminal. And what he did was he had his own crew of guys, and so he didn't give a shit who lived in these beautiful 4-story homes.
Yep.
Trash them. We had a YouTube star at the next one down the street.
There was 3 houses on the same street. And we had this guy come in who did YouTube dance videos and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Moved in all these performers, and they fucking trashed the house.
So we think we have value to him because we're loyal tenants. We have been there for 9 years. We take care of the place.
Yep.
He doesn't give a shit. Your rent's now gone up $5,000 a month this year.
Then we had the next guy. The next guy was like the weirdest.
Who was the next one?
La Rambla.
Oh, God. He actually was in the early throes of dementia.
Yeah, he was. And his son was evil.
His son was evil, literally evil. Tried to hurt my little dog.
Tried to get Chaplin killed.
After I had already had the Abbott was killed, and would come to the house when he wasn't there and like threaten me that it was his house he was coming in, and I would say, you're not coming in this house while my husband's not here.
Yeah.
And so he that day went and intentionally on the camera opened the little gate that kept the dogs in, which is how Abbott died, and then just stared at the camera and then walked away.
Wow,
and
what a psychopath.
So you know me, I finally lost it.
And you got that video is recorded. So
it was on our Ring. Yeah.
Well, we got to the point where this is the one time. So when you rent something, have a broker help you. Now it's a little bit extra, but here's what happened. So we took really good care of this house because I'm like, I think the deposit was $10,000 just to move in. And for whatever reason, the guy that the broker we'd rented it from,
he wasn't our broker. He was their broker.
Right. But he's the one who rented it.
Yes.
So he shows up the day we move out to do the inspection. And this guy was like, as we're walking in, he's going, look at this right here. That's not okay. That's $2,000. And the guy goes, the broker goes, that's nothing. That's normal wear and tear.
Yeah, normal wear and tear.
And he goes, look at the spots on there. He goes, I don't see any spots. He goes,
so this
that's
guy,
a Trump thing.
Listen,
this guy walks through the whole house.
We don't know the guy. We didn't ask him to come. He came because he heard that we were moving out when our lease was over, and he no longer worked with this guy, Armin.
But knew
the guy and worried about us, came and got us, and then told him that he could drop off our deposit check at his office so that he could guarantee that we got it.
And at that time, we really needed it because COVID was about to start. Anyway, so by the way, so no one gives a shit about doing it right. From the people at the airport food court to to Dodge. And I'm going to tell you the story. So this is a bit of a.
Our whole history is actually bad customer.
It's bad.
I do feel better. I feel better hearing your.
But the one thing
nightmares.
that's like everybody, like we all suffer through it. Shitty customer service has become something that we're used to, and that's why we're okay with this dickhead as president now.
Answering to someone as like a boss or a landlord. When we moved to
and we were paying
Rambla,
him for the rent, though.
This is what I was going to say. I finally had it with trying to switch the utilities. They couldn't get it to work. I'm on the phone with Spectrum. I cannot get an American call center. They cannot understand me, but they have perfect English. And I finally said, "It no worky. It no worky." And she goes, "I'm so sorry. It no worky." And then he and I, it was on speaker.
She wasn't being funny. She was just thinking she was speaking English.
She was mimicking.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So sorry, no worky. So we are so used to shitty customer service and people not doing their job and being fucked over by companies. I think that's part of why we've accepted Trump, because like so many people have been like, well, this is just how it goes.
We've been worn down.
Doesn't it? We've been worn down. Yeah. From the airport kiosk to the president. And what people forget is we pay this motherfucker.
Yes.
Like our taxes pay this
He's our
dude.
employee.
He's our employee. Yeah. We are the basis for all of it. So can I tell the story about the Dodge Ram thing?
Please
all right.
do.
So I take Jet to go do stand up with me. We go up to Oregon and we do the show. We drove the truck up, the whole brand new truck. It's got massaging seats. It's a nice truck.
Let's talk about how happy you were about this truck.
I love this truck.
It massaged every part of your man parts that needed to be massaged.
Yes, it's an option.
And I just mean,
well worth it.
And I mean mentally, he would call every time he was in it and go, "Babe, I heard massaging seats like so many times." And then
it's got that.
It's got its own screen. You were so excited about this. It has a little
TV
with you,
screen
so you on the passenger side. He just loved it. He was just having such a good time in this truck.
It was the nicest truck I've
painful.
Ever owned.
Yes.
Yeah. It came with the exotic massage package. With
blink,
the
blink.
little neon light inside.
So we meet Jet and I go up. By the way, we drove to Oregon to do this gig, and we drove, and it made the drive so much better. It was 540 horsepower, which is like 145 more than the Hemi was, and so I'm having a great time with this truck. I'm coming back home. I dropped Jet off at school in Sonoma, and I'm driving it across the Richmond Bridge, and all of a sudden I watch the tachometer go and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm on the bridge, and I'm like, oh shit. And I go, babe, something's really wrong with the truck. Hold on. I'm a car guy. I know, like, this is not.
Actually, what you said was, I think the motor is lunching, and you hung up with me, and I thought, the motor is going to lunch?
Yeah.
Paper bagging?
What does that mean?
I just make it to the end of the Richmond Bridge. I get off in the first exit. I stop, and the car goes.
Where are you? On the side of the highway?
No, I got off the first exit, and I pulled off across at a stoplight, and I was on the side of the road. Cars whipping by, and and it turns off. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, here we go. You know what? I know what it is. It's the computer glitched, and like I'm gonna unplug it.
Reboot it.
I'm gonna unplug it.
That's what I taught Grandma Jean. Unplug it and plug it back in.
Plug it back in. Turn it back on. Nothing.
Is the motor turning at all?
Or is that barely? And I turn on one more time, and it goes bink. And it makes the biggest noise, and I was like, and I'm a car guy. I know what that noise is. Sorry, we scared Poochie. That noise is a bad noise. And
how many miles?
Really technical.
How many miles? That's what I would have said.
As a car guy that noise is a bad noise. I know enough about cars to know that this noise is not a good noise.
Not good.
No one in any time. Yeah, there has never been such a noise of noises
of America has ever heard any. So the likes of which
I try to start one more time, and I start to smell electrical fire.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
And I'm like, oh shit. I turn the key off, and I still smell it. I'm like, oh no. Call a tow truck guy. That cost me $450. A Russian guy comes up. Nice enough guy.
Boy, we're hitting them all today.
Yeah, we're just checking all the lists.
And Russian fella seemed to be okay.
Not a Ukrainian guy?
Well, he wasn't breaking into our security system. So if you're Russian and you're not breaking into our security system or our power grid, I'm fine with you. So we get the truck on the trailer, and there's a Hilltop Dodge up in Richmond. Now we get to Hilltop Dodge, and we pull up, and I guess Richmond's not a great neighborhood. Richmond, California is not great. It's not
rich.
It's not Stockton, but it's not good. It's not Stockton or Oakland, but it's not good. So I go, well, let's just put it in the street and they'll pick it up in the morning. And there's an Audi dealership and I go, it's okay. We put this truck here tomorrow. And the guy goes, I would not leave your truck outside that dealership. You're crazy.
It's that bad.
He goes, this neighborhood is don't. And so I start walking around, and I called my son. And by the way, so few times in life do you think people will back you up. And I just dropped him off at college. He's 30 miles away. And I call him and go, hey man, I'm in deep trouble. I'm going to need someone to drive me tonight. He goes, I'm on my way, Dad.
I love that you think someone in your family might not. Like that is such a given.
Yeah. I know you would.
Kenny would.
But
Jet would. Kathy, Dennis, Shannon.
But in the past, we have experience with the kids that they have stuff to do, right?
True.
Okay, so that he just instantly jumped in his car was really it showed him his maturity and that we haven't failed as parents. So he comes get me and walk around the dealership and I go, I don't know what to do here. And I go to the dealership and the service thing and there's this chain across the road and he's got these poles stuck in holes. And I look at the poles and they're not locked. There's no padlock. And
that's not an invitation.
And I'm like, you were raised like me. It is an invitation and it is. And
all polls are invitations, is what my mother always said.
Oh, what?
All polls are invitations.
Oh my God!
She didn't say that.
My dad said that his poll was an invitation.
That's true. Said that. My mom never said that.
Hey-o! So I pick up one of the center, barrier pole and drop it, and I look, and I pick up the two side ones, and I realize that. Well, we can back the tow truck right into here. Mm-hmm. Now we're breaking into the dealership, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go, Jet, what do you think about this? And my son has just enough Titus larceny in him. He's like, it's great. Let's do this. It's awesome. So the Russian guy doesn't want to do it. He's like, no, what is going to happen? We cannot. What if we get caught doing this? I go, if we get caught dropping a car off
back to
like
where,
we're not stealing a car. We're actually
donating it.
We're leaving a car. And I go, listen, if it happens, I'll take the hit. Whatever it is, if it's he goes, it's $10,000 fine. I said, whatever. I got whatever. Knowing that I'm just going to run. And I got my son here to drive away. We're good. So we back the truck in and we unload it. We put it in the dealership. We park it in a decent area. We kind of roll it back and we leave. Since then, that was 30 days ago, I have been dealing. I called Chip, my buddy Chip. I go, do you know anybody at Dodge? Because listen, you don't buy a vehicle, put 3,000 miles on it, and it blows up.
Is that a lemon thing? Can you use that?
Okay, so that's the thing.
30 days.
But here's the thing. So I get on the phone today. It's 30 days, and I called the dealership I bought it, Knight Chrysler Dodge in Claremont, and they were fine when I bought it. That's another thing I've noticed. You know what's really great about this? Everyone's been great on the phone. Everyone has been
that's the
so
trick.
fucking nice.
Yep.
And then I finally said that today. I go, you know how nice you guys have been? And you go, but words and actions, you're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So the truck's sitting there. It sits there for a week. They finally pulled the spark plugs out of it. It hydrolocked, which means hydrolock means if it gets fluid in the cylinder, it goes, well, that bends rods. Don't know why it hydrolocked. Don't know why the injector exploded, which means it could be. Then I got burning wires from before. I'm like, I don't want this truck anymore. I got 3,000. It's brand new. I took it on one trip, and the guy today on the phone goes, very nice, but he goes, hey man, I don't build the trucks. I go, aha. Here we go. I was waiting for this. It's not our fault. No. You're the Dodge Ram dealer who sold the truck. It actually is your fault. I go, when Costco, here's what I love about Costco. You know where I get the best customer service? Fucking Costco. Say what you will about Costco. If I bring something back, I've seen people bring back a 4-year-old couch.
I thought you were going to say a 4-year-old.
And Costco's like, okay. I had a TV that broke and I brought it into Costco. Actually, I'll be honest with you. We had a TV that cracked because I dropped it.
And they took it back.
I put it in the box. Costco went. They didn't even look at it. I go. Hey man, I just got a cracked screen. I don't know what's going. And I had done the old the criminal mastermind story that I was going to tell him. And the guy goes, it's okay. Just get another one.
Because behind them is the Raiders of the Lost Ark scene with TVs. They're like, we got plenty.
What's up? But they so these guys go. The guy at Dodge at Ram today goes. He goes. We don't build the trucks, and he goes. You have to deal with the company. And I go, Costco doesn't make me call Korea when my Samsung TV breaks.
Yeah.
Costco doesn't go, hey man, sorry, we didn't build it.
The buck stops with Costco.
We just sell
We
them.
actually pitched on these while I was getting ready.
Oh, you know?
I said, if you get salmonella at Subway, you don't have to call. And what did I say? I said,
Louis Pasteur. She goes, somebody doesn't go, hey man, we didn't invent salmonella. Call Louis Pasteur. That's who dealt with it. It's very funny. Very funny. So this actually says, it doesn't say anything about 30 days, which is weird that lemon lawyer told you that. It just has to happen. And most laws, including DC across the country, are the same within 18 months or 18,000 miles of delivery. But here's the key language. Manufacturers must either replace or refund the purchase price, your preference, after a reasonable number of repair attempts. Right. So that's what they're counting or reasonable
on right now.
Reasonable amount of time.
There's no time listed.
Well, that's not what I
reasonable number. So who decides what's reasonable?
Well, reasonable. Okay, so I don't know.
That's why it's vague.
So let's say this. Reasonable to me would be brand new truck, 3,000 miles on it, blows up.
One would think.
They also said that they couldn't get a new motor for it or the parts they need for it because they don't have any. Because it's the 6-cylinder twin turbo is new.
Because the Chinese tariffs?
So they don't, no, not, well, now I bet you that's it. But they said they don't have the parts. So they don't have the parts. They can't fix it. It's still sitting there. I'm 2 car payments without my truck. I don't have a vehicle to drive if I need to go to a gig because all I got is the electrical vehicle. And
it doesn't have the range.
It doesn't have the range. It's got 400
I just keep
miles.
thinking about your Aunt Kathy just very, very casually telling me, because you had just been with her. Well, she had to call a lemon lawyer one time. She got a Buick. And when it sat in the sun too long, the brakes didn't work.
True.
She said,
that's a Buick.
She just so sweetly, like Kathy does, was telling me. I just remember a day I was going down a hill and I ended up having to go through someone's hedge over the curb.
And then my Pinto exploded.
Yeah. She, that's very funny. Kathy said that. She said, so there was
Do you remember that?
Yeah, the way they had put the compute, whatever the brakes were, had a computer anti-lock system on it. So whenever the car got hot, where they had put, because the brake thing sits close to the hood.
Yeah.
So the computer chip in that thing would heat up and stop working.
I love that. I love
like
that.
an iPhone in the here.
She told me like several incidents that happened before she contacted help. And that's so us back then versus now, like we were like, well, I just shouldn't leave it in the sun too long, It's so
but we were used
different.
to it. Now, so
you
basically,
weren't allowed to be a Karen back then.
So and then so to the credit, Chip got a guy named Pat. Pat, this is a great guy. Did all he could got Stellantis on the phone, and I talking to one of the higher ups, and his response was, because I was like, I'm going to go on podcast and talk about this. The guy at Chrysler's response was, he doesn't need to be an asshole about it. Motherfucker.
Referring to you?
Yeah. Like I said, if I don't get this fixed, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a new element. They've changed the lemon laws in California. There's several new elements, but this, and I wonder if your email would qualify, must now provide written notice to the manufacturer at least 30 days before filing a lawsuit, including all details about the vehicle, repair history, and your request for repurchase or replacement.
I've done that already.
Have you detailed the issues with getting it repaired?
I went through the whole story. Sitting there.
It's a fucking brand new truck. Yeah, it's paperwork. Just say, here's the other one we have. Use this one.
They're sitting on the lot. He said, I think you need to put in writing that I am filing a lawsuit under lemon laws in California. I think
I already have. I said I will. I might have to go to court. I already have.
I should have known.
I did the first letter. So the guy who's the big shot that this Pat guy knows, who's like high up at Chrysler, called me, said he doesn't need to be an asshole. Because I also said this.
Lee Iacocca's son.
I don't know whoever it is. I also said, speaking of that, I will say Stellantis. By the way, they named this. They had this great. They had Chrysler is a Chrysler corporation.
Yeah.
It's such a badass name. Yeah, they changed it to Stellantis, which sounds like an ED medication. Like, why did they name it? Try Stellantis.
Exactly.
And
are you experiencing?
So Chrysler.
That's the thing called rods breaking.
Is your rod bent?
Is your piston not firing?
I use Stellantis.
Does a piston fire? I don't know.
Yes, it does. They're actually, yes, four-stroke.
Is your body going titty caca, titty
Did you
caca?
just say four-stroke?
Doesn't make a noise like gink.
Did you just say yes? It's four-stroke?
Yeah, combustion cycle is 4 strokes.
And you didn't use that in this little bit?
Rewind. Put it back in.
Insert.
They also killed the Hemi motor, and so then they built. So here's the thing with what Stellantis did. So Stellantis actually just as a company, like Dodge Chrysler went out of when nobody was doing muscle cars. Dodge came back with a Charger, which I've owned a Charger. Just so you guys know, I'm a good customer to this company. Mm-hmm. I had a Charger that I customized. I was the first one to paint mine Sublime Green, and then they came out with it 2 years later. I bought a Challenger that Mitch Lanzini painted. I designed this cool paint job, and like guys used to chase me down and go, "What is this one?" Because I made it look like an old like IMSA racer. And then I had a Viper. And then I had...
You worked it into your comedy stand-up special.
I did a stand-up special about my Viper. Talked about it, the American Muscle Car, the All-American Muscle Car.
Dodge was in the original special unit that Bryan Cranston
special unit. We used a Charger for special unit. Like I used and loved this company.
Oh yeah, and then the real movie ended up, but the Sublime Green Dodge was in the Comedy Central episode that Cranston directed.
Oh, that's right. It
was featured as the cover. Do you remember seeing those pictures?
Yeah. So I've not only
you've given them free product placement.
I've promoted
fuck
the
you.
shit out of them.
Although
you owe me. Damn
definitely broke the frame on the one we used for the
We
movie.
ripped the suspension out of that car so bad. Our stunt guy. Here's the thing. Here's a horrible thing, and it happens in skiing and it happens in movies. Let's do it one more time. Like when you say it's skiing, I'm going to do one more run. Like we actually do this now. Like at the end of the day, snow skiing, I'll go, like, let's just take one more run, and then we look at each other and go, we're going back to the car now because it's the one. Because we call that the Sonny Bono run, where you go upside down into a tree. The last run is the Sonny Bono run. By the way, that was the thing. He said he took one more run of the day and hit a tree.
One last run.
Yeah. So when I say, hey, let's just do one more. Nope. Back to the car. It's hot chocolate and alcohol now. So I had a Viper anyway. And then I had 1, 2, 3 Dodge Rams, which I customized. And this was my 4th one. And I bought those when it was Dodge. It's Stellantis now. And it's obviously this company, again, sounds like it's named after an ED or a blood pressure medication
or something.
Yeah. Why would you just take all the joy out of a 110-year-old American
built
company,
up legacy.
Chrysler.
Yeah,
Chrysler's such a tough ass name. Yep. And Stellantis. Hello, I am Stellantis. I will be your salesman for the cars today. I am Stellantis. Meet my service manager, C3PO. I am Stellantis.
Are we at the bottom of a hill? We cannot make it.
I'll tell you this, man. For a brand new vehicle, and it's not like a new company. It's not like a company like Rivian or something that's trying new shit. It's a company that this was what they fucking do for 110 years. And for the car to launch in 3,000 miles and them to be dicks about it makes me never want to buy another one.
It's so interesting. Like once they've got it figured out, like you've got it nailed. You know, other car companies that they put out these cars and these engine designs that are like perfect. These run for hundreds of thousands of miles.
Bless you.
And then they want to launch something new with some new tweak or some stupid computer on the brakes. And it fails. Why would they fuck up something that they've got working already?
Stellantis. Well, it's nothing. Yeah. It's one of those words that I think companies pay for companies to Stellantis.
It was that was like the umbrella company that they owned, like, you know, Peugeot, and that's another one.
The Peugeot, Alfa Romeo, they own a lot of cars that break down. Honestly, Jeep.
Yeah, they're ironically,
and Ram has been like rated so high over the years, and so now I don't have it, and I'm pissed. And the thing is, it wasn't a cheap truck. This is like the Cadillac of their truck. In fact, I'd read all these reviews in Car and Driver. I'd seen a bunch of guys on YouTube videos. I'm like, I'm gonna, you know what? I've earned it. I'm old enough now. I'm gonna get the top of the line truck, and it blows up in 3,000 miles. Launches the motor. Sucks.
So where's it at now? I mean, the process?
The guys that sold it to me at night, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, they're just like, hey man, we didn't build it. We didn't build it. You know, we talked to the people in Detroit, and they're just saying that and then I talked to the guys at Hilltop. There was one guy, Ray, was the best service guy ever. He's such a good guy, and I guess something happened to his son, so he's gone. So there's this new guy, Gus. Yesterday, I go, Gus, it's been 30 days. Can I get my truck? And he goes, hey man, we're working as hard as we can. Those parts are on back order and we can't get them. Not my fucking.
Seriously.
I love when they get mad at you. Like I'm an asshole for complaining. And then you look at a company called Stellantis. Here's when you know a company loses its mind. Dodge, at a time when gas prices went up, dropped the Hellcat Challenger and Charger, 800 horsepower. They were like, we don't give a fuck. And that's why people loved them. Because they were still going out of control to be the baddest ass Dodge, Hemi, crazy.
Middle finger.
Right.
Yeah, rebel car.
Right. Yes, they were awesome. Stellantis takes over. They put out the electric Dodge Charger, which I love the design. It doesn't have the range of a Kona. Like, so if you're going to get, like, if you can't, so let's hold Tesla or Rivian up as the standard, or even better, you what's that other company?
Hyundai?
That I like no, the new the Buick drives. It's an electric Buick.
Oh, Lucid.
Lucid has a range of like 460 miles. So that's where you set the bar. You don't just do a cool car and then make it so I got to plug it in every 45 miles. Yeah. You know,
especially a big, heavy.
Oh, and it won't do a burnout either. So they come up with this. The car looks bad. Won't do a burnout. It has drift mode, but it won't do a burnout.
The new truck?
No, the new Charger. And I was going to get one. I was going to get one. Then the more that I kept going down the specs, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, now that my truck blew up, I'm not buying one now.
That's not happening now?
No. The range is 240 miles. I love that even she knows.
One drive to the studio.
Even she, the big dodo, knows. Well, I guess.
I mean, cars. You're not
I know that pistons fire. And that.
Not in electric
so
cars.
I don't have my truck.
So
I don't know why I had swiveled on pistons fire. That was actually more embarrassing.
I do not have my truck anymore.
I know you're trying to tee me up to do an ad about Bessie Footwear.
Bessie Footwear. currently.
Hey, now look at that.
Is going to be walking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have yours on?
I don't, because I had them on the first
and he's
7 days of moving, and I was I'm like, I'm gonna wreck these.
Yeah. So these are my special shoes.
I got dumb shoes on now.
I gotta tell you, I actually went online to try and get you a pair of the Chelsea boots.
You did?
I did. And do you know
that's an extra
they don't make
special.
14s.
That all their other shoes go up to 14s except for those, which are the closest to what you were wearing before. So I thought he would die over these because you love your Vessies so much.
Like snowshoes.
He always says this weird.
He doesn't want to lace anything. He just wants to put it on.
I just want to just jump into them. And
So I tried 13. So Bessie, please make Ken Highlander some 14s in the Chelsea boots. I have the oxblood color Chelsea boots, and then I also have the high tops like you have, which can confirm best shoes for travel because they are functional, they're comfortable. It feels like you're wearing sleep shoes.
You're not even. You know what they are? They're more comfortable than something you would wear in a mental hospital. They would give you, there's no sharp edges, and they're so comfortable, not going to make you mad. I didn't realize how uncomfortable my normal tennis shoes were until I got Vessi.
I started undoing the back of my pants to keep it just like.
Very weird. Very weird. You had to take it one step too far.
He always puts his on and says, my God, these feel like slippers. Now I get why you wear slippers everywhere. So we both wore ours to the cabin. Speaking of travel, I was going to say comfortable to travel in, still look dressed up. Then you could just take those one shoes and wear them to dinner that night because they look like normal nice, but because it's that waterproof fabric, it never fades or gets worn out. And so they always look new. We all have a pair of black ones.
And they're a little stretchy. They fit perfect all the time. I like them.
I don't know what you made them from, but they are the most comfortable.
Comfortable is not enough word. It's the word should be Vessi. Like that.
And I can make it weird. That was weird.
I put them on. So I travel. I've been traveling. I did 5 weekends on the road. Now you got to understand, guys, when I travel on the road, I get up in the morning. I got to go drive to the airport. I got to walk through the airport. I got to go through security. I got to get on a plane. I got to walk my luggage out. I got to carry it. I got to get every day like that because we're doing one nighters. I'm doing one night of Funny Bone, next Funny Bone. I keep going one night. So I'm walking a lot. I'm doing lots of, and they're the best travel shoes. I've never had a pair of shoes. Usually when I take my shoes off, I go, oh.
Right.
These, when I put them on, I go, oh. Yeah. That's the difference.
It's like putting them into like a little mini bed.
They're
little feet beds.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
Pack smarter and travel
Comfortable's not a
better
nice
with
enough word.
Vessi. Visit Vessi.com/Titus right now. You'll get 15% off your first pair at checkout, and you can start exploring with confidence. Say yes to spontaneous trips and rainy day adventures with Vessi. I think we mentioned they're also waterproof, and we did sink our feet a foot deep in snow to confirm this.
We unloaded the truck to the snowmobiles walking through this much snow, and my feet didn't get wet.
No, when we actually stepped onto the deck of the cabin, the water just beat it off and they were dry. It was really weird. So travel smart with Vessi shoes at Vessi.com/Titus to stay comfortable and get an instant 15% off your first purchase at checkout. And I don't know if you can tell what I'm saying because my nose is stopped up, but it's V as in Victor.
Your doze?
My doze, Bessie. Victor, Echo.
Vessi. Vessi.
It's not Betty.
I can't do that right
V
now.
victory. Vessi.
That's what I said.
I know. I just want to make sure that they, because I know you're worried, so I'll tell you.
Make every day a little easier. Visit Vessi.com/Titus now for 15% off your first pair at checkout and start exploring with confidence. These are your new everyday favorite. Vessi is waterproof, comfy, and ready for real life. Grab your pair at Vessi.com/Titus to stay comfortable and get an instant 15% off your first purchase at checkout.
Do you guys have a customer service story you want to tell?
Oh, well, I just did the Spectrum thing, so that's just
you
set
moved.
aside.
Oh, God, everything.
No matter what, even if you just say, why isn't it turned on? It's a 45-minute. It's 45 minutes. And the first 40 minutes is you have to talk to the chat GPT lady.
Before you can get to
get to a person. So then you got to schedule another call, and then you call them, and it's another 45 minutes.
Welcome to the next 3 weeks of your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't end until 3 weeks.
And then
what I don't understand is we have so many apps now. Like my Rivian, I have an app. I can do almost everything that I need to do on the app. Why doesn't Spectrum just have an app you can go through and only in the most extreme circumstances would it, because they can do it all, switch it all electrically. I don't get it.
And we're still using these cables that are from like Thomas Edison days. Don't they have any new tech? We can just like go send it through the air, airdrop my internet to me.
Yeah, I tell you what, Tesla does it, and so does Rivian. Rivian actually
with
updates.
voting boxes. Oh.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What happened? Please
wait a minute.
back and watch the Rigged Election podcast. But that thing went through the roof. So we're not the only people that thought it, and if you guys people,
we're the only people dumb enough to say it.
Yeah. What? So we did a couple of podcasts ago. We did one. We had the Election Truth Alliance come in. They gave us their data on the anomalies and how weird the swing state voting was, and you should watch it because it will freak you the fuck out. So the last time. In 2020, when he said it was rigged. Well, I think he said it all the time because there's anomalies in 2020, but they're pro-Trump anomalies.
Yes.
And then in 2024, the anomalies started earlier in the voting. And you guys got to watch it. It's well worth your time. You'll be frustrated. You'll be as angry as we are because whereas they had 62 court cases on Trump and they had zero evidence that there may have been election fraud. We have stacks of evidence that there probably was in 2024. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying that looks like there was.
I'm going to start throttling the views. All right. So we can just keep going with the podcast. Okay. So we don't go to CCOT.
It doesn't matter.
Matter.
We're going. Doesn't matter. Whoever they want to go is going to go. I watched an interview with Trump today by a guy from ABC.
Dear God.
Did you see what's his name? The great interviewer because the guy
had
didn't
it open because it was so.
I'm doing a supplemental Armageddon update for today on this.
Shocking.
It was pretty crazy. Trump
has been sharing images of Abrego Garcia with photoshopped MS-13 on his knuckles.
So guys, let's be clear. So Trump showed a picture in the White House like this of just a hand, not connected to a dude.
Terry Moran.
Just a hand. Okay. So on the hand, there's these tattoos, and then up here it says MS-13. Now, so I'm like, was that real? So I go look at the pictures of Abrego Garcia, who was basically a legal American resident, was picked up and sent to a prison in El Salvador with zero lawyers and zero hearings. Okay. There's a picture of him. One of our Democratic senators went to El Salvador to meet him, sat down with him for lunch, talked to him what's going on, and they've got pictures of his hands. There's no MS-13 on his hand.
Oh, if you look at the photo of what they showed,
it's not even his hand.
It's clearly just somebody typed it like on
It's
fucking
not-
Word.
It doesn't
Just
even
to,
look
like-
like the tattoos look. It actually looks like
Like
letters
text.
stuck. Yes.
Like somebody just fucking put like,
Like if I did.
Yes.
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 You can't say it yourself, and then when someone agrees with you, get
Nobody
mad.
doesn't have to be so vigorous about it. I don't feel well. Terry Moran. So Trump says during the interview that MS1 and 3 were part of the real tattoo. Trump says he said he wasn't a member of a gang, and then they looked, and on his knuckles they had MS-13. And then they looked. And on his knuckles.
They looked at his hand. You know, because when you're in a gang and you want to hide it, you print it right on your body.
So all Terry Moran says, which I object to somewhat, is he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way, maybe, but let's move on. Trump gets mad that he won't say yes. He goes, wait a minute. Hey, Terry, don't do that. And then Terry says he did not have the letters MS-13.
On his
That
hand.
was
Yep.
Photoshopped. Trump goes, that was Photoshopped? Terry, you can't do that. They've given you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing this interview. I picked you because, frankly, I had never heard of you, but that's okay. You know, he always has to
Yes,
do that.
upside down.
But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed. Terry, do you want me to show you the picture? So Terry Moran was ABC's chief White House correspondent from 1999 to 2005. He's now the network's senior national correspondent. Responds and he said he does have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. It's a
He's got a
Marijuana.
marijuana leaf.
He's got a little skull, like a
skull.
Day of the Dead skull.
Yeah, it was
cross.
a cross. It was like four
And a smiley
pictures.
face.
But also, I'm like,
Sorry, smiley emoji.
Yeah, like-
He's got an emoji on one of his fingers.
so Trump says no. He had an MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted.
No, he
and
didn't.
this is why people no longer believe the news, because it's fake news.
Oh my God.
You do such a disservice. Why don't you just say yes, he does, and go on to something else?
Because here's the thing. Here's what he can't stand. So Trump has this thing that he's been doing since day one, where he basically keeps saying it over and over. It's what Goebbels told Hitler to do. Just keep saying, say the lie long, and if it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
Guys, I looked it up before I got here because, I'm like, okay, what was there an MS-13? The picture he showed, again, not connected to the dude. It's just a hand. Second of all, I look at the picture that the Democrats took when a Democrat went to meet this guy, and they've got his hands clearly connected to the human being.
I know.
And there are no MS.
But look,
wait, let me finish. I want to be clear about this.
This is the insane.
Our president is showing fake Photoshop pictures of people that were illegally and unconstitutionally sent out of this country. People who courts have said, you need to bring him back now. And he told the courts to fuck off. So to all you people who keep bitching about Second Amendment, Constitution, got to follow the Constitution, Biden's going to end the Constitution, Biden's going to destroy this country. This motherfucker, President Trump, is ending this country. He's ending our constitutional rights. He's ending our citizens' rights. He's ending due process. He's ending our Fourth Amendment rights, all of it. And then he's showing fake pictures on the news. So if you can continue to support him, you have to question your sense of humanity, number one. But you really can't call yourself an American. If you don't follow the Constitution, you can no longer. You're a Trumpian, and that's it. I'm pissed. By the way, I'm going to say this again. My entire life depends on the First Amendment of this country. My job, stand-up comedy. Because of the First Amendment and the freedom it provides, I am a DF student. But because this country gives freedom and opportunity, I got to be who I am today. I got to be the guy who can afford to pay for a truck that breaks down that he can bitch about. So I will say this right now. This motherfucker needs to actually start following the Constitution and start obeying the rule of law, or we don't have a country anymore. You got it? All right, you guys can come back.
Okay.
By the way, by far, the improv, amazing. You guys yes-anded like a motherfucker. That was awesome. That's probably the best thing I've seen in a long time. Thank
That's
you.
what I was going to say, is that we have been caught in the intentionally laid web of arguing semantics and details that have nothing to do with what is I don't know why I'm saying this like I'm in a jazz line. It's a violation of the Constitution. And the
Your
bottom
rights
line
don't
is,
matter anymore.
oh, please do Ethel Merman, please. For David Spiro, please do Ethel Merman. That's the bottom line. This guy has been sent out of this country without due process.
Illegally.
That is against the law.
Yep.
It is a violation of our laws that have not been changed, and Congress has not even convened to change. And then he was ordered to be brought back by our judges, which is part of our checks and balances against absolute power of this dipshit.
Because nobody has absolute power.
And he is not following a court order. And in several instances, they have realized has willfully violated them during and after the fact. And then I would say to you, if it is in fact the case that they have evidence that this guy is MS-13 and he's trafficking humans, why? Oh, why did they wait 3 weeks to tell us?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sorry. They've only been in court 7 times.
You didn't want to bring that into court as evidence with your shitty little
if you have evidence
Photoshop.
the guy is a gang member with the 3 kids and his wife, and he's a gang member, you could have brought that up at any time.
But that's what it tells you, is that he is not trying this in a real court. He is trying it in the court of public opinion. And as long as you people will back him up, he gives you fucking morons a really badly photoshopped picture. And if you just go, yep, there it is, that's why he was supposed to be sent, he's won. He does not have to follow the court order, and that's the end of our democracy.
I think that they took a picture of his hand, right? And then they made an interpretation of the tattoos. And they typed it on there to say, here's what we interpret these tattoos as being. And they hand it to him, and he's a dementia-addled moron. And he just looks at it, and he doesn't listen to anybody except his own big brain. And he just sees it and goes, oh,
that's interesting.
Look at this.
Because it does not even look like in the picture they were even trying to make it look like a tattoo. I bet you're right.
Do me a favor. Do research. Well, look up MS-13 tattoos meanings. Let's look it up.
Yeah, but they put it on their face.
But you just did what she just said. You just gave it a reason. Like here's the thing. What I'm tired of the Democrats doing, and they do it all the time, is they quantify it a little bit. When they go, Doge is looking for waste and fraud. And he goes, and no one's saying that there's not waste and fraud in government. Well, that's bullshit, because we had 15 inspector generals that were saving hundreds of billions a year. In fact, when Musk came over and said, we're going to take $2 trillion out of this budget, he ended up only getting 160. And every accountant that's looked at it said, no, he got like 16.
Yeah.
And they didn't get 16 by fraud. They got 16 billion by cutting food services for kids, cancer research for kids. They ended up pulling money out of Harvard and Columbia. They ended up they basically canceled contracts.
Yeah.
They didn't save the government money.
Right.
They canceled contracts of shit we need.
They're trying to get some of them back.
Meals on Wheels. Grandma Jean used to deliver Meals on Wheels.
Some people need wheels on their meals.
Yeah, they cut Meals on Wheels. They cut you're gonna let old people starve now?
I think it's even
old and sick people.
It's even worse now. I think that they have even spent more than previous administrations.
Yeah, he
at
spent
this time
$60 billion more than the Biden administration has sent in this week. So they've lost $60 billion more.
This episode brought to you by Huel. I really want to segue, but I can't. In the apocalypse, you're going to need something really good for you.
Human fuel, I'll tell you
really
what, guys.
Balanced and quick to grab while you're jogging by with your bow and arrow.
I had to get somewhere. Where was I going?
Huel is a perfectly balanced meal. Their ready-to-drink Black Addiction bottle is our favorite. I love chocolate. It's my all-time favorite.
I was hustling on the house. I hadn't eaten. It was like a fasting day, and I realized I had to get something. I forgot something. I had to go to a hardware store to get something for Morgan, the straps to get the mattress for him.
For you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, shit, I can't eat shit. And I grabbed the Huel. I did it 400 calories. Full meal done.
Actually tastes like a milkshake. And we have chocolate and vanilla. I like them both, but I like chocolate the best. It was actually designed by experts to give you all the nutrients that your body would need from a meal. Takes the guesswork out. You don't need time. You don't need to prep. You can just, especially if you commute in the morning to work, or if you sit at your desks during lunch, this is a perfect thing to just throw in your bag and always have, because they don't have to be refrigerated. At least I hope they don't, because well,
so far so good. Fingers crossed.
Ray's been sick for about 4 or 5 weeks.
it's got 35 grams of protein plus 27 vitamins and minerals. I was just thinking, I mean, I hope that they don't need to be, because I haven't been. They still
No,
taste good.
they didn't even show up refrigerated.
Okay, good. So you can start saving time and money without compromising your nutrition today. With this offer for you guys, you get 15% off. Plus, they're going to send you a free gift using promo code Titus at Huel.com. That's 15% plus a free gift for new customers using code Titus at HUEL.com. And see our description for terms and conditions on the website. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition bottled. This is actually the most convenient thing we've ever had.
Human fuel.
I didn't know that you did that. Thank you, Huel, and thank you, Titus.
Yeah, his straps are in
taking
his truck
advantage-
in Northern California.
Oh.
Can I tell you guys a quick story that
The
we
truck that
learned
doesn't
about
work.
last night on Rachel Maddow? If you're wondering, this is what she said, is basically if you need to know the status or the state of where we are as a country right now. A couple of nights ago, in the middle of the night, a mother and her 3 daughters had their home. They just moved into in Oklahoma 2 weeks prior from Maryland. They are United States citizens, all 4 of them.
Boy, here we go.
United States citizens, not green card holders, United States
Not
citizens.
residents. Actual
2 weeks into moving into this very nice neighborhood, beautiful home. She moved there because it's cheaper than Maryland. In the middle of the night, pouring rain, what she believes to be U.S. Marshals, ICE, and FBI.
So they said FBI was there, and then she called FBI. FBI said, we were involved. Then they said, we're not involved.
They keep changing.
Then she called
because now the local station KFOR, KFOR in Oklahoma, is following this, and now there's light shined on it. So the mother, in the middle of the night, all these agents came through the doors, the windows, shattered glass everywhere, made
20 agents with guns
Like
pointed
fucking
in the
SWAT, like a
She
goddamn.
thought she was being
El
robbed,
Chapo?
and she actually said she sobs through the entire interview. They blurred her face out because she's traumatized. She said, "What if I had had a weapon and I defended my home?"
They had HSI tattooed on their knuckles.
Oh my God.
And they're owned
So,
by Stellantis.
Think about this. U.S. citizens, the mother and her 3 daughters were forced to stand out in the rain in their underwear and or sleep clothes. The woman was told she could put on clothes if she did it in between these male agents.
They had to watch.
No.
They had to watch her.
Holy
They
shit.
ended up taking all of their electronics, their belongings, all the cash she had in the home. That is how she is living right now. How she's feeding her kids and buying gas and stuff. They took it all. They left her no business card to tell her where to go and retrieve her things. The guy said could be a few days, could be months. We don't know. They had a warrant for the address, but different people. So she's wondering if it was
She
someone
just rented the house.
Yeah.
So they
Oh,
actually...
shit.
So they can't. Here's how lame they are. They can't even keep up with who's currently renting the home.
Oh my God.
They actually went after the people that were there
took
before.
it all,
I guess
took everything. Her house,
All her money.
there's
She has no
video
money.
of the inside of the house, and it's empty except for shattered glass and broken blinds and
Chairs.
stuff. Just left.
And they basically the doors, like they showed a picture of the front door. The front door is just mangled.
Battering
Like they
ram.
just
I mean, just the level of
Nazi?
yeah.
Refused to identify themselves. Refused to tell her who they were with. She believes these to be the agencies because of the patches on their clothing. Now the local media and Rachel Maddow, MSNBC, is now a lot of people are trying to track it. FBI said they were involved and they said they weren't.
Yep.
It's like back in everybody's...
Oh shit! It wasn't us. Oh shit!
So where then, to whom does she go to get her belongings that were
or her money that she
fraudulently
was feeding her
taken?
kids with?
Yeah. And they don't give her, usually you get a card. Here's where you need to contact.
Contact
to retrieve your
Usually you
things.
get an attorney, like the
No, we're not, but we're
provide one for you or whatever.
So also in the same broadcast, there is a bunch of immigration attorneys who have been sent letters These are American citizens. These are people that were born here.
Dude born in Pennsylvania who's a retired college professor.
Immigration. They're working with immigration. Some of our attorneys, that's a college professor, got sent letters that you need to get out of the country.
You have 2 weeks.
You have 2 weeks to leave the country. I'm sorry. I'm an American citizen. What?
Everyone's letter said, or we will find you.
So,
And I'm not talking about naturalized. I'm talking about
White
American
cracker.
citizens, most of whom worked in immigration as attorneys.
What the fuck?
Socrates, I think it was Socrates, one of them said about oligarchy, which is where we're heading to. So
He's doing rallies now
Socrates.
with AOC.
No, it's Bernie Sanders, but yes,
okay.
but same. He
He's-
used to
he's
be
that
called.
old. He's-
Yes, in the Greek times, he was called Socrates. Now he changed it to Bernie, so he a little more accessible. You know,
A little more common man.
Yeah, he went Socrates. You know what do you think, Bernie? Maybe Bernie's better. I sound like a Bernie, right? So,
Way funny bit to have Socrates sound like Bernie. The difference in impact
With the
when
hair.
someone has an accent.
he sounds a little less wisdomy, doesn't
He does.
So Socrates said something about oligarchy. He said that if you let oligarchy thrive, there's only 2 ways out of it: tyranny, live under tyranny, or live in revolution.
Yep.
And I know which side I'm going to be doing, because I will not have these fucking thugs with not wearing logos or and they're all saying, guys, by the way, you guys that did this, you pussies, you can't even say we're with the FBI.
Yeah.
You can't even say we're with HSI. You just got to make it up, deny everything.
Yeah.
You take this month. It was, here's the thing. She said 20 cops broke into her house, guns in their kids' faces, guns out.
Little kids.
Little kids. So it's obviously there's no threat, right?
Right.
They're in pajamas.
Right.
There's obviously no threat.
They've cleared the house.
Clears the house. It's safe. You take all their shit and her cash
And leave them in the rain.
fuck.
Fucking
After
dirtbags.
she shows you the ID that says I'm not that name.
The problem is that they're gonna I think Trump's doing this for a reason. I think he's doing it. What's that new thing he just signed an executive order on, the martial law thing?
I feel like these ICE guys are loving this shit.
You know,
Oh,
They're just
by the way,
into
'cause
it. They're just
there
like, yeah,
is
fuck
something
yeah.
I can say from, I want to be very careful about this, but there is something that I have to take a breath because I'm sick and I'm tired and it makes me more emotional. That don't touch me, it makes it worse.
Stop it! Ken does that too when I touch him.
That makes it worse. My friend Mahogany is a beautiful Black woman, and she is a federal probation officer. And I'll never forget, she said to me one time, if you're not careful, this job will make you racist. Because you're seeing the worst of the worst. And also because of systemic oppression and racism, the people that are often you're seeing the worst of are the people that we have systemically oppressed for 400 or 500 years. And so I have definitely seen it happen with a once very close member of my family. And I will tell you that it does create anger that I've never seen before, and an entitlement, and there is a power and in it. Whether I do believe that many of them do want to save the country, and they are only seeing the worst of the worst. And I do think that sometimes, having hung out with a lot of cops, that they also do become power hungry.
It kills empathy. Power kills
and
empathy.
it kills empathy. And I said, because Homeland Security has been told, a lot of these agencies, and part of why they're not identifying themselves, I know from personal fact, is that they have been told to act as ICE. You're in the agency. They're all in the same agency. Find whatever shirt you have, find whatever patch you have, close your cases, on child sex trafficking. And you're now
a little more important than the guy who was picking our vegetables. Yeah.
You're now acting as ICE. Raid daycares, raid schools, raid churches. And I said to this person who I have loved a great deal since I was
Tiny.
first born, remember your humanity. And that's what I said.
That's all you said. That's all you said.
I said one more thing. Remember how Mama taught us to love. And it was fine. And the conversation ended. We talked about other things. And a week later, I was cut out of my family again. And it tells me...
I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's such an absurd thing.
It tells me that some of these people know that what they're doing is wrong. Because that is not a reaction of someone who wants to involve in discourse because they believe in what they're doing. That is a defensive reaction of someone who
Knows.
In my opinion, probably knows
what they're doing is so far out, is literally outside of the target area for humanity. You know, here's the thing that people forget. And by the way, that's all you said. I think I know. He actually cut me off by texting me, and he put in writing. That's what I said. But I've watched it tear you up and question what you said, and like there's no context you can put remember humanity in where you go, you asshole.
I have actually never questioned what I said. I am always very careful. Because this has happened before, I'm always aware of what I'm saying. It's not a free-flowing kind of conversation like we can sit around and have. And so I weigh my words very carefully. And I have never questioned what I said. And I would say it again. I believe my text response was, until the day I die, I will say, remember how our mama taught us to love other humans.
Yeah.
So I just think about a lot of those people out there who need a job, who need the health care, who have kids who rely on that. And they're being told to do this.
Food stamps.
And I mean, these agents, right?
Oh, these agents, right.
So you don't have people that are free to say, you know what, screw this paycheck, screw the pension I've put in 18 years towards that I'll lose if it is such a fucked up position that this man has put everyone in,
including our military.
Now, could I go and do it? No, absolutely not. And my niece has already said no when she's told to go to this agency. No, I cannot do that. I cannot live with myself.
I sold my Tesla. I mean, I couldn't. There's no way I could.
Rub it in. This episode brought to you by Harry's.
Harry's, just use it today.
Did you? Where? God.
I feel like I'm doing van life, but I always have a Harry's deodorant stick.
Yeah.
Like a full one in my glove.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, today's a moving day.
He always keeps deodorant in his too.
That's a guy thing.
It's a guy thing. None of us.
You're always ready.
I have never been out in public and thought, "Oh shit,
you're a girl."
Yes,
you're a girl. You don't have the same whatever the glands. It's a different species.
Exactly.
Kevin Rooney years ago said, "We're a different species.
We're like silver smelly ass."
Listen, we've been around other dudes. We walked up and we're like, "Fuck, dude." Like my son talks about there's one dude in his dorm, that is so stinky.
Yes,
like this guy. I should tell Jet. I'm going to send some Harry's and just give him this.
Harry's Jet could. Okay, so Harry's, you guys know, is our all-time favorite razor company. And then they kept adding things. And now they're our all-time favorite hair paste, deodorant, body wash.
I love the hair paste.
In our shower, I am going to take another picture because it has multiplied. We have 8 or 9 bottles altogether.
There's 2 giant bottles of body wash
shampoos,
and I have 2 2-in-1 shampoos.
One regular shampoo.
On the other rack, I have another shampoo.
You have, for some reason, 4 flavors of body wash.
Yes, I do.
Are you eating them?
I do. Sometimes I like to smell like strawberry. I don't know.
And sometimes doubles of the same one. And that's what really throws me. And sometimes I'll move the full one out and the next day I'll find it back. And I don't know. He's got the soap in there. If you open under his cabinet, he's got a stack of 7 or 8 hair pastes.
Because you never know what's going to happen with this economy and what Trump's going to do. And if this can't spike, I am not me. I am not me.
So, Harry's, I got started with them because of the razors. I tried it because I had left mine at home because for some reason we were doing these ads and I thought they're for guys. And I we were in San Francisco. I tried it in the shower and I remember the moment. It was like when JFK was shot moment where I was like, it is night and day different. Ladies, if your guy already has one, just go try it. Even if it's used, it still
blade.
works
Yeah, but put a new blade
insanely
on.
well. That's what I did that day. I put on a new blade.
He will not believe your legs. He'll be like, what the hell
It's
did you
insane. And I use
Yo,
a blade
Sasquatch,
for
this is so
like, I probably use a blade for 3 weeks probably. And
Yeah,
it's still
every day,
sharp.
though.
And you never
Yeah,
use
I use it every day.
And you never use it. Would be like 4 times and you'd switch blades on the old stuff.
Easily.
Can I? So I was
they would get clogged.
I was working out with my buddy this weekend. I went to Ninja Sunday at Tony Horton's house, which was great. It was just 4 of us. It was great. Hard. I killed myself, and I woke up on Monday, and I'm like, I'm never working out again because I'm finished. I'm done.
That's enough.
It was enough. So I take the bag. I did work out yesterday, but it was so I'm sitting there, and we're doing something. We're doing the pegboard or whatever, and Horton goes, what are you doing to your face? And I go, what? He goes, how does your face look like that? And he goes, I know how old you are. He goes, how does your face look like that? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, how is it so smooth? I had shaved the night before. And I go, Harry's.
He doesn't use it yet.
I go,
can't
Harry's.
believe we
I told
haven't
him, I
talked
told
him
all the
into
guys,
it.
guys,
How close was he spotting
I
you?
goes, if you aren't using, he was sitting on the bench. Like I was standing.
You were glistening.
And then he's like, dewy. I was dewy. I was dewy.
So you want to get the starter set. This is what we recommend. It has German engineered blades that are made in their own factory that stay sharp forever. You get that 5-blade razor, the weighted handle, the foaming shave gel, and the travel cover. You get all of that for just $3 delivered to you at harrys.com/bombshell.
Still, how are they doing this all this
And
year?
I recommend you can customize it, schedule delivery refills. I don't know if I put those words in the right order because cotton inside
It's
my
okay.
head, but you can get them for as low as $2. That's what I do, and I usually do I think I do 36 at once because it feels like Christmas, which is less than half than what I was paying for
But
the
also
crappy
it's-
brand.
I don't have to dig through the whole cabinet to find a razor blade. There's razor blades. I'll go.
You're
We
welcome.
live in abundance. I'm very
So
blessed.
get the shaving products that always deliver. Get Harry's. Try the Redwood body wash. Normally the trial set is $13. Right now you can get all of it delivered for just $3 at harrys.com/bombshell. That's harrys.com/BOMBSHELL for your $3 trial set. What I was going to say was, and I tell you guys this all the time, it's so affordable that Jet could afford to. I could have used this in college.
Yeah.
The Giganto, your body wash is, I think, 16 ounces.
It's got like
and
one
I
of the.
believe
It's got a well pump on it. Like it's so big.
$7. I don't understand. And the prices don't go up and the quality's great.
Yep.
And I don't have any reaction. It's no weird ingredients because my skin reacts to everything. So highly recommend harrys.com/bombshell.
Get it, guys. We're not kidding.
Can I tell it a quick thing that
Yes,
happened?
please.
Hegseth has been very busy.
Oh,
And,
God, this moron.
He has now, we've had the floor action response team fart.
The fart team.
We had Rudy in front of a dildo shop farting on a hot mic in a hearing. It's just,
Mike Pillow's in bankrupt now.
it's just like a clown show.
Constant.
Hegseth announced yesterday, this morning, I have proudly ended, all caps, the Women, Peace, and Security program inside the Pentagon. He put that on X. This is interesting to me because that's what my sister's PhD is in, women, peace, and security. It's a really big deal.
This sister is a big fan of Hegseth, or
What
at
I'm
least
saying
was.
is family reunions these days are tough.
Wow.
Very tense.
He said the program was, quote, yet another woke, divisive social justice Biden initiative.
Let me guess, it was a Trump initiative.
In 2017, Trump did a whole big Oval Office signing.
God.
Do you know who sponsored it? Co-sponsored it? Kristi Noem and Marco Rubio.
And guess who was also part of it? Ivanka spoke
Yes.
for it.
My sister was working with Ivanka's office at that time on this. Yes.
And you know
What
what?
the fuck? It's a clusterfuck.
But let's just go back to it's called Women's Peace and Security Initiative, right?
it's
So
if you don't know it, so the way to say it very quickly is that studies have proven over time that peace negotiations are more effective and more lasting when women are involved in peace negotiations,
Right.
historically.
Yeah.
So, but let's just say the name of it: peace and security. Women, like he doesn't even know what it means, what it's about. These fragile bro fucks, these fragile cowardly white men who, for some reason, think that okay. So here's what I don't quite get. Hegseth literally has white supremacist Nazi tattoos on his body.
Yes.
We have pictures of it.
Yes. But that we didn't Photoshop.
No, we didn't. Yeah, that we don't Photoshop. Yeah. So I just want to, so if these guys think they're the master race, and I did a bit about this in Zero Side Effects, which is on our website. If they think they're the master race, why are they so afraid of everybody else? They're afraid of women. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of every minority in the world. They're afraid of immigrants in a country designed, created, and built by immigrants. Their families are immigrants, and yet you're the master race. You chicken shit, cowardly humps. Like you can't even deal with. You couldn't even handle. You can't handle anybody who's not like you. Yeah, that means you're a punk ass bitch. Is what that means. That means you do not have any power. You're definitely not supreme. You're not even a burrito supreme. You're not. You're just. There's nothing supreme about you, and yet you can. And so by killing all this stuff, just basically says that you think you can't compete in a normal world. Yeah. Like if you have to cancel everybody's program, because all the programs, there's 90% of the programs are for white males,
and he's just like. This is the same thing with Doge. They're just like looking for things with certain words in it.
Yes.
So if we just change the title, like if they just put maybe nice in that title for the women thing, he would have like kept it. We were like, she's a nice piece.
Pam Bondi has released a memo. Pam Bondi, by the way, who should be investigating the fact that the president of the United States is selling a Dogecoin in exchange for Oval Office time with him, which somebody said last night is the equivalent of him posting his Cash App or Venmo on the White House website.
Top 25 people. Yep. Top 25 people get accepted. Yep.
Then you get to come to the White House and talk to me about whatever you want.
There's like a PayPal thing in front of the Oval
Pam
Office
Bondi
door.
released a memo on Friday saying that they're rescinding Biden's reforms called the news media guidelines that limits when and how Justice Department attorneys can pursue records or testimony from journalists, including subpoenas, raids, and the like.
Let's go. I want to go back to the
search subpoenas, court orders, and search warrants.
So they've killed all tech that was actually looking for Russia, trying to cancel our power grid. They canceled all that cybersecurity stuff. They've now canceled what you just said. And what this thing with the meme coin thing is, people, you need to understand something. Trump is always transactional. It's always, what can you give him? And I want to point something out to all the people that backed him. Mike Pillow is bankrupt now. He got sued. Rudy Giuliani is destitute. Okay. Elon Musk has lost $200 billion. If the only thing stupider than the Republican voters is Republicans. Yeah. That you continue to back this guy up, and you know damn well the bus is coming. He's just waiting to throw you under. He's going to suck everything you do for him out of you. He's going to suck all the power you have, and then he's going to leave you bankrupt. And it happens over and over and over. Manafort did
Bannon, Michael Cohen.
Bannon, but he bailed those guys out. Navarro's helping him again, but here's how stupid Navarro is. You already did time. You were in jail. He bailed you out when he got back in. He gave you the pardon.
It's because he's got to continue to push the research of that guy that he made up in all of his books.
Oh God, Dennis,
the guy that Trump made up, because Trump
Navarro.
did it too. Oh,
Navarro. Oh God,
Ron
Varro.
Yeah,
David Donnelly. Right?
David Donnelly was Trump's
alter ego.
Navarro wrote a book on economics, quoted the expert on economics, Ron Varro, which is a anagram of his own name. There is no Ron Varro.
They've
expert
actually
in economics.
now gutted, just a shout out to women before we leave today, they've now gutted a health study that began in 91 under George Bush. It was such a big deal for women. It was known as the equivalent of a moonwalk for women. The purpose of it was to research cancer, specifically breast cancer, heart disease, osteoporosis, and menopause.
Saving women's lives.
One of the best things so far that it's done is they did a study of the potential risk of estrogen plus progestin hormone therapy to treat symptoms of menopause, which is something that would specifically affect me.
And help men.
Yes.
I'm not in menopause. I didn't mean that.
Think of the men who have to deal with this.
I meant
Save
because
marriages.
when I would not be able to take those because of this study, because my mom had hormonally triggered breast cancer, and it would put me at a great risk of getting
Can you bring one more thing up before we go? I want one more thing. Bring up that bill he did called the Security and Military to Hide Bad Guys Act. Like he's signing shit. The names he's coming up with are literally shit that would make George Orwell going.
Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know. I
That's even
think
stupid
some
by
of
my
you
standard.
were new last week or the week before, or maybe you were ETA people, but that baby is not mine. I've never read comments, but my niece read comments and she goes, oh my God, everybody thinks Seamus is yours.
That's not her baby.
That's not maybe a dingo HO baby. I'm trying to find it. What is it?
New executive order on letting troops arrest people within 60 feet of the border.
Yeah, I
But
saw
you got to see what it is, because basically it's
troops
the
to hide something about bad guys. Yes, hold on.
It's the toe in the door of basically using the military against American citizens, which is against the law.
Right.
You got to hear this because when you see it, you're going to realize that tyranny or revolution is where we're headed.
Yeah.
And I think, and here's what I was thinking about this morning. You look it up. It's a new thing he just signed, executive order this week. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking we all, and I know you guys know it because I brought it up on stage a couple of times and the whole audience just nods like, yeah, we all know it's coming. We all have to go through things in our lives that we know is coming, whether it's you got to do an intervention on your kid. There's things that you know are coming that you have to do. You have to do it. You have to take someone to rehab. You have to get divorced. There's things that you have to do, that you are coming. You're about to get in a fist fight, and you know that once the first punch is thrown, it's on.
Yeah.
But before that first punch is when you're just scared out of your fucking mind. What do? That's where America feels like it is right now. We're all watching. Even the Republicans are like, there's a lot of Republicans going, I didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did. He said it over and over.
Yeah.
You actually did, but okay, you don't want to face how stupid you are. That's on you. We are in this place right now where we're facing either tyranny or revolution. And this bill, this thing that he just signed, is one of the scariest things. I read the title and I was like, oh no. Do you have it?
Everybody's feet are getting into their fighting stance. Okay.
Strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens.
Is that how recent was that?
Well, I just found it on his website. He actually puts all this shit up. April 28th.
Yeah, that's it. So basically, they're saying that now our military can come in and arrest U.S. citizens. That's what this bill says.
Inside, 60 feet inside.
In 60
feet for now.
From the border. So what it does is, and just so you guys know, executive orders aren't laws. And I want to just say to every Republican congressman, you cowardly twats.
Yeah.
You cowardly twats that you aren't even standing up to this, that you're letting this happen. I also want to point one more thing out. And this is the Bill Maher thing. I watched Bill Maher's video recently about what he said. Because I'd only seen clips of it. So I went and I watched the whole thing where he talks about who Trump was. And Bill Maher gets up and he walks and he sits on a bar stool like it's like Playboy After Dark in the 60s. And he starts talking about Trump.
It really does.
And I watched it, and me, Ray, and our niece were watching it. And I said, holy shit, this is a hostage video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Because, and by the way, there's a pattern with Trump. Lindsey Graham talks shit about him, constant, before he first got elected. Lindsey Graham went golfing with him once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The next day he was like, this guy's awesome. He's the head of person. He's the future of America. Bill Maher talked mad shit about Trump.
Yeah.
Got invited to the White House, had a long conversation with Trump. By the way, people, you need to know something. Donald Trump sued Bill Maher for calling him an orangutan, showed a picture, sued him, cost Bill Maher $1 million in legal fees. And then he gets invited to the White House 8 years later. And then he gets on TV and goes, I just want you to know, the guy I met is a good guy. The guy I met, he laughs. He actually has
a good sense of humor.
Good sense of humor.
Yeah, see, that doesn't seem like...
Nothing fits.
That sounds like he's trying to blink twice
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
need help.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
he has a
Pull the
good
camera
sense of
back.
humor.
He's doing this.
Yeah.
There's a gun. There's
a good sense
No,
of
he's
humor.
great. He's very good. He's fine.
He loves puppies.
Yeah, and I will say that Donald Trump is by far the best leader we have ever had in this amazing country. Thank you.
In
So-
the first 100 days in office, Trump has issued so far 142 executive orders. In 100 days, you can go look on whitehouse.gov. You can actually read the text of them. To give you context, that's more than any president in history. The highest ever was FDR, who was dealing with some shit.
Yeah, there was some shit
And
going
he
on at
had
that time.
99. And Biden, for example, did a total of 162 in 4 years.
And he had some shit to deal with too. He had
the
he had
pandemic,
COVID
but
and all
4 years, 67 of those have already been revoked by Trump. But in 100 days,
Well, we've got the midterms if we make the midterms. And also, again, I'll tell you this. I lost so much hope after that Election Truth Alliance podcast because I thought if they do this in the midterms,
Yeah.
we're just
Still
fucked.
the same.
And I think what I think is, I sent it to Eric Swalwell. I don't know if he's going to read it. I don't know if he's going to look at it, but I will tell you this. If what the Election Truth Alliance found out is accurate, is true, if all that data is right, that means they know how to rig the system. And if they know how to rig the system, that means it doesn't matter what they do. They're still going to win a la Putin.
Yeah.
They're still going to win. And that means that we will never get back.
Which explains a lot of the behavior.
Yeah, doesn't
Of
it?
just
We did not
reckless,
give a fuck.
Don't give
Yeah.
a
Because
fuck.
the poll numbers are like 85% against him on like 10 issues.
Where they're going against the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So
the lady, by the way, if you guys haven't heard, there was a judge in Milwaukee that he had arrested,
He arrested
last week.
because the judge didn't rule in his favor. Oh no, they were gonna
She obstructed
send
them
a
from
residence
taking.
away.
She let the immigrant leave through the chambers, I guess, or through the back or whatever.
because she knew ICE was in the courthouse.
illegally.
Oh yeah, ICE is not supposed to be in the courthouse. Here's why, guys. You understand something? If why don't fucking let ICE get arrested wherever they are?
They were waiting to arrest the defendant.
Here's why you don't let law enforcement, ICE, or whoever in the courthouse, because then you have people that are legal, especially if they're arresting legal residents. Because if you have ICE in the courthouse, guess who never shows up to court to deal with their crime? The people that ICE is going to arrest. So all of a sudden, you've made a third of the government not being able to function because you're letting the cops come in to just send people out of the country illegally without due process.
Well, Wisconsin Supreme Court has now suspended her. And I said to him last night, think of every single case under her
Oh
court.
my God, I forgot about this.
Every
You said this.
single person, if they are
A felon?
intelligent at all, have
Yeah.
already filed to have their case thrown out.
You know, for somebody who keeps saying, I have a mandate, he's
Yeah.
the one who doesn't have a mandate,
No.
while everyone else ignores their actual mandate. The people in Congress, they have a mandate. The courts, the judicial system, they have a mandate too. And no one's, all of that shit's out the window.
Well, I just think that he was there for 4 years. Again, go watch the Election Truth Alliance. That in 2020 there's evidence of possible rigging of the election. I'm being very clear. I'm being very kind of vague in my language because you got to look at the data and you'll be like, holy shit, they didn't rig it enough. It looks like, and then in 24 they rigged it enough. When they came back, I think the first time he was shocked that he won, and I think he tried to do the best he could with the low level of intelligence and the frankly lameness that he has at his core. And then the second time he came in, he surrounded himself with these people, and I think they set up their plan is way more devious. When you sign that many executive orders, and it's not laws, but if
And all he did was talk shit about him
All he did was talk
about
shit.
Biden doing executive
Auto
orders.
pen. He kept saying the article. By the way, I'm gonna do a supplemental. I'm gonna go write another Armageddon up there right now. Auto pen. He keeps using auto pen. Who says let's a dementia patient use auto pen? I'm like, well, then, like if you look at the first term, all of his orders were signed with auto pen.
More than 100 DOJ employees have resigned instead of executing his assault on civil rights.
Wow. How? Say that again.
More than 100 DOJ employees have now resigned.
See, what do you think about that? Like, do you stick your guns? Do you
It's
stick
scary because if
That means he's
they're
gonna-
the only stopgap.
Right.
But if you're telling me, for example, what I said earlier, if I work for Homeland Security and you tell me that I have to go and raid these schools and churches and daycares, I would have to resign. I can't, if that's what my job is going to be, I can't do that. But I would then spend all my time trying to get word out about it and publicize it and fight it. I mean, I don't know. It's both ways though, because now once he's done, we won't have any good people left standing. In these
Tyranny or
agencies.
revolution, people. That's where we're kind of getting to right now.
Well, don't say things like that out loud.
I'm just quoting Socrates.
They're already coming after. They're now hinting that they're going to be going after press and journalists.
Yeah,
So.
I've done enough. I've done 10 comments. I've done enough.
I don't know
I'm
that
good.
it's quite.
I'm sure as fuck not going to stop talking.
No,
Scream sanity.
just maybe don't say revolution.
Well, no, I'm quoting Socrates. He said, the only way to deal with, if you're going to accept an oligarchy, the only way to
Can you
end
say it
do
like
it- do
Ethel
it in-
Merman?
Or
the
Bernie.
only way to stop the oligarchy is tyranny or revolution.
See, it doesn't sound as bad.
And now, what I don't even know what segment this is anymore, but
I
go
don't
ahead.
know. 2 years ago,
Biden
said this. So right after there were some campus protests that became violent at UCLA, or at least they said it was. I don't know what really happened, and Columbia. Biden came out and said both sides had a point, that peaceful dissent was critical to a democracy, but that violence would not be tolerated. The United States was not an authoritarian nation that silences critics, but order must prevail. He said, dissent is essential to democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder or denying the rights of others so students can finish the semester and college education. I should point out that nobody got deported. ICE was not sent to round people up.
This is just called the depression. Is this segment? It's just depressing. Here's when we used to have a functioning democracy. Our dollar has tanked. Our stock market has tanked.
That's 5,000 points down. We've got
Worse
Japan.
since '93.
Japan just sold every investment in America. They sold, which is actually, Rick Wilson was saying something that he basically, the bond market went up 60%. And what he goes, it usually moves in a day. It usually moves at most 1%. I don't know what all that means. I know that with China's dumping securities and China's dumping our China owns our debt. So what people don't quite get about that is if China owns 800 billion of our debt, right? Or a trillion, and China calls that money in, they sell all the paper we gave them to hold the debt. They basically have an investment in America. Say $1 trillion. Here's the note.
Yeah.
China goes, I want that fucking money back. Well, that means our treasury gets fucking killed and we have no more money. Yep. So China's doing that now. China's trolling him hard. China's trolling up. The videos that China's put out were making me laugh so fucking hard.
They're also trolling J.D. Vance too, right?
Well, he
Or was
killed
that
the Pope.
Japan?
He killed the Pope. I mean, J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
The next thing on the block coming up too, other than journalists, is Medicaid. And I said this before, but if you think that it won't affect you because you don't have Medicaid, you're wrong. Because Medicaid is our largest health insurance program in America. And when they start chopping that, it's going to be a domino effect as to the quality of care, as to how much your health care costs, which is already through the roof. I went today, I always like to give these examples, and had, blood, 20
vials of blood.
She kept counting them, and I was like,
I'm out.
That can't all be for me. Oh, you're going to feel this. That's what she said.
Ding. It was just a gas pump. Just
I couldn't watch. I just, you okay? I'm fine. But it was $350. And she said, what insurance do you have? And I said, Blue Shield. She said, PPO. I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, wow. She goes, your insurance pays a lot.
Oh.
And
yeah,
I thought $345. If I'm paying that, what are people with not, quote, good health care?
Can I say something about that? Is and I'll say it again, please remember it. 32 out of 33, us being the 33rd, industrialized countries have universal health care. It's not a thing. Yeah. We are the only country that has porn capitalism, where a guy has $200 billion and that's not enough. Yep. Where a guy has 3 yachts and that's not enough. Yeah. porn capitalism is what we live in right now. I used to not think this. I used to think everybody should be able to make what they want. But there's a point when the system is so rigged. Carlin was so right. You know, I used to think Carlin was a grumpy old man over a lot liberal. But then when you start looking at the numbers and you start seeing what people do. And this last thing I want to say, and then we're going to go. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Nobody took your job. Nobody's taking your job. These immigrants commit crime 25% of what people that are born here do. What basically a guy who walked 1,100 miles from his country where he was starving and gangs were extorting his paycheck with his 2 kids and a grocery bag full of clothing and whatever he had. When he got to the border, he came here to do a job you won't fucking do. That's why he came here. He's not taking your job. Target, Apple, Walmart, those guys gave your jobs away. They gave them away because they didn't want to pay you a living wage. They wanted to make, that's why the fucking minimum wage is still where it is 20 years later. Prices keep going up. Minimum wage stays exactly the same. So be clear who the villain is. It's rich, fat billionaires who own these corporations. They've decided that they don't want to pay you. Now,
Wait, what have they decided?
they don't want to pay you a living wage.
Billionaires, because you have a T-shirt for this.
Oh, yeah. Billionaires have decided that people with nothing have too much.
When I said that to my dad, he went, "That's exactly right."
Yeah. Billionaires have decided that people with nothing have too much. So one last thing I'm going to say. I'm almost done. And I'm sorry. I know I've been going. But I really had this light go on this time because I'm stunned at the people that are accepting this. Your jobs were given away by the people that have the jobs. And here's the most fucked up un-American thing about it. These assholes who own American companies who have sent all the manufacturing overseas want Americans to buy their shit, but won't pay Americans to make their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that? So it's not the guy coming across the border who's willing to mow your lawn, not taking your job. The fat, rich, white billionaires of America gave your job away. They're paying billions to other countries so they can build shit that they want you to buy, but they're not willing to pay you to make it. Be clear. I'm Christopher Titus.
So the idea too, I just want to say too, progress has become a negative word when used with the "iv" at the end, progressive. So all progressive means is that we learned from something that was happening over and over in history, and we didn't want to repeat that anymore. That 1991 George Bush-backed initiative for women's health was because women were dying of breast cancer and heart disease and struggling with osteoporosis in menopause. And so therefore people are more sick, which burdens our healthcare system more. Medicaid, which Republicans have been trying to cut since the 80s, there are people alive, like my father, who have been alive long enough to remember family and friends, neighbors, whatever, dying from conditions that could have been treatable or preventable, or being forced into an indigent nursing home because they, in order to stay alive, could no longer afford their home. And so Medicaid was created to stop that. There was a reason for these programs that we have now.
Right. Liberals don't just go, we need some more, but these people have plenty of food. Let's give them more food. That's not what happens. We were losing children to starvation. In America, we literally had kids starving in our own country.
They cut the funding for AIDS to prevent AIDS. And yes, certainly in the United States, we take on the "to whom much is given, much is expected." And we help others. We used to, which is a beautiful thing as well. But also, it was created to protect us.
Right.
Because how many diseases that started somewhere else got on a plane and came here? AIDS was an epidemic. It was known as a pandemic in the 1980s.
They killed the bird flu research team.
That's what I'm saying.
They killed the measles tracking thing.
I mean, you may not see it as that.
They cut funding for NOAA, which means hurricanes and whether it's going to kill people. Guys,
Oh, yeah.
They're raping your country, and you're cool with it.
He's gutting FEMA. In fact, he just
Told them to fuck off.
He told
North
Arkansas.
Carolina? Arkansas too?
Huckabee Snagglepuss's state, which voted for him 64%.
He said he wouldn't send the money.
Because they had all those deadly storms. She applied for it, and nope.
And can I say one more thing? As the fifth, one more thing I'm going to say. Guess what, guys? He's trying to save enough money to justify $7 trillion in tax cut for the rich. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, rich people paid 50%. If you made $1 billion, you paid 50% tax. No one paid 50%. But if you earned, let's say you had $1 billion, and that year you happened to earn $100 million. After you got your your deductions, you paid whatever it was, $300 million, whatever. You were fine. You were fine. This is what I don't get. Why are people so offended that they have to pay for the opportunity? I pay a lot of taxes, but I don't give a shit because this country gave me everything. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why you're un-American. If you don't want to pay your taxes, you're just fucking un-American.
Yeah, and I love how they always sell the whole thing. It's like, oh, I pay the big, percentage or whatever. But it's
they don't say they say the number.
Yeah, they just say the number. They say the number.
I paid $11 billion in taxes. Yeah. Motherfucker, you made $300 billion.
By the
you
time,
paid I would love to pay $11 on every $100 I made.
Yeah.
I would love to pay. That'd be awesome. 11%? You paid 11%? He didn't pay 11%. He made $300 billion that year, paid $11 billion. So let's say if he paid 10%, he had to pay $30 billion. You still made $270 billion. How are you going to eat?
Right.
Does your jet need new tires? What the fuck are you talking about? All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry this one seems so down today. I am a little bit... the further I get into this administration and how just like they're so over the top worse than they were last time, the more I think we're all facing something that we don't want to face. So do me a favor.
Cut me out crying. I can't believe it.
You have to remember.
This is a political.
You have to remember. If you're okay with oligarchs, the only way that ends is tyranny. Tyranny or revolution, tyranny.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later. Oh, by the way, go to ChristopherTitus.com. Do me a favor. You want to laugh about no politics? Go to ChristopherTitus.com and get my new special, Carrying Monsters. I'm touring with Doom to Repeat, which is a little more about this. But Carrying Monsters is just about my way screwed up life. If you want to feel better about your life, go to ChristopherTitus.com. Yep. Please get that special.
And Alpha Chick album is out everywhere now, so just set it to play even if you mute it.
Yeah. Support us as much as you can, and we got your back, all right? Remember, scream sanity. Tyranny or revolution. Tyranny.
It does sound kind of nice.